It being 4:30 p.m, I propose the question of the House to now adjourn, and I call the honourable member for Chifley.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Every summer, an Australian state or territory, or several at a time, face the ravages of bushfires. And while my home state of New South Wales fortunately was able to avoid what looked like a early season threat, others certainly weren't able to escape the impact of fires, and both South Australia and Western Australia recently were heavily affected. And one of the great assets we have in Australia is the volunteer firefighter, a selfless, skilled and tireless individual who toils through the summer months and trains the rest of the year to protect their fellow Australians. And I was really pleased to hear the efforts just weeks ago of the Plumpton Rural Fire Service in the electorate of Chifley, where we proudly have 3 units at Plumpton, Shanes Park and Eastern Creek. And 10 members in 2 crews from the Plumpton Rural Fire Service dropped everything on the home front and answered the call to battle fires in South Australia. And under the leadership of Senior Deputy Captain Trevor Haskins, the Plumpton crew carried out duties on the fire line between Brookside and Braycroft in the Adelaide Hills. And Madam Speaker, it is heartening to know that in this country a volunteer firefighter knows no boundaries, and our states and territories are only too grateful to see a red tanker from a long way away roll through their town and help as long as they're needed. On the theme of selflessness, it lends me to also pay tribute to another fine servant of our area, Sajana Nand, who was recently named as the Blacktown Citizen of the Year, and a more fitting recipient of this prestigious honour I'd be unable to find, because in the 5 minutes allotted to this space it wouldn't be enough to detail Sajana's lists of achievements for his local community and his workload for others. Sajana is a founder and president of the Australian Hindu Multicultural Association, as well as a committee member of the Hindu Council of Australia. He's on the executive of the Blacktown City Library's multicultural community and a volunteer with Syd West Multicultural Services, which is also based in Blacktown. The Australia Day Awards ceremony saw Sajana share the stage and the limelight with Amy McMillan, who was named Blacktown Young Citizen of the Year. And the Year 12 student from my old high school, Mitchell High, was recognised for her tireless fundraising efforts. Notably, she's been working exceptionally hard to raise money for causes such as cystic fibrosis and leukaemia awareness and treatment programs. And to both Sajana and Amy, I wanted to recognise their efforts on the floor of the House and also applaud them on behalf of our community. Finally, Madam Speaker, there's been some other great news in recent days within the electorate, in particular with the announcement that the Bidwell Shopping Plaza will reopen. Some may wonder why that opening would warrant such a mention on the floor of this chamber, or that the reopening of a group of shops would be celebrated in this way. But in Bidwell, for many years, families have had to travel a considerable distance to buy necessities in an area that sometimes doesn't have the best transport available to citizens. And if they wanted to buy basics such as milk, bread or even nappies locally, they had to use a local drive-through liquor outlet in Bidwell. And for a lot of families, that's not acceptable. After many years of closure and an estimated $3 million spent on renovations, the shopping centre is going to open next week. And I congratulate Foodworks, the supermarket chain that took the decision to invest in Bidwell by opening a supermarket inside the plaza. And I'm very pleased that the majority of the 25 staff that will work there will be locals. So not only are there more services available, but there are jobs for people in the area. The decision by Foodworks to open in Bidwell has been the catalyst for at least 5 other small retailers deciding to establish businesses inside the plaza. There's a bakery, hairdresser, discount shop, newsagent and a food outlet. And the food outlet itself was the only operating business in the area before the actual centre closed its doors. There's a medical centre on the way as well, and that is fantastic news too in providing that critical service. But we all know businesses aren't charities. They operate on the basis that they are made viable by patronage, and that's why I urge the Bidwell community, which has been very vocal for the reopening of the plaza, to now support their local businesses in that centre. And I've been very encouraged by comments posted on my Facebook page by Bidwell residents who are promising to do their bit by shopping at the plaza. Comments like from Trish, who said, "This is great news, bringing the community together, offering services back to the people. It is big and positive." So it's great to hear good news stories like that, especially when it means that families will have access to service, young people will be able to get jobs, and so to the new tenants of Bidwell Shopping Plaza, and to the centre owner, Ralph Tompkins, we wish you every success and we'll be there supporting you all the way.